Alright, hi everyone. This will be the first part of the Fairy Bloom Freesia playthrough, and today we will go through days 1 through 5, or the first 5 stages, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. I'll make sure to kind of explain the game as we go through it. It's not too horribly difficult, but there are some things that you kind of need to get used to. So we'll start a new story mode on normal difficulty, and we will start 100% clean and fresh. So the first day is going to be our tutorial day, and the game kind of explains how we play the game. So of course you can go left and right to move. Then you can double tap left or right, and you dash in direction. You can combine this with the jump, and then you can also double jump. And you have various attacks. You can do a dashing attack holding left, right, and then pressing the attack button. Or you can just keep tapping the attack and do a combo. And you can do attacks which will knock the enemy in the air. And then of course do attacks in the air. Let's see. Oh. I guess maybe before we go any further we should kind of explain the menu. So, in the top left corner of the screen, you have your level, how much experience you've gained, your mana, which is used to buy skills, which you acquire from defeating enemies. Below those, you have the blue bar, which is your health bar. You have the green and yellow bar, which we will be using more once we get unlocked skills, which actually use the bar. And then next to it, on the right, you see that small empty bar. That's your guard bar. And every time you guard an attack, it fills up a little bit. And if the bar ever turns completely red, you suffer what I like to call a guard break, which will do extra damage and then make you completely vulnerable to any attacks right after, which is really not good when you go into some boss fights and they have multi-hit attacks, which you guard break against, and then you take like half a life bar of damage. So the little shining star-like things, that's your mana that you get from killing the enemies, and you use that to buy the skills. And then I think once we get further into the game, maybe another day or two, you'll get, the enemies will start dropping larger white ones, which will be like little shiny white balls, and those will be health pickups, which will give you health when you defeat the enemies. And those are really helpful in some of the boss battles, which can get pretty tough. So the first day is really not that hard. You just go around, give you sickle tools, beat all the enemies. And then, as soon as we'll get done, explain the next part of the game, which will be the intermission screen. Oh. So if you knock an enemy into an enemy, they take damage from that. Which can be pretty useful if you can get a nice line of enemies all lined up together. So you knock all the enemies into each other, they all take extra damage, and it's a pretty easy way to beat entire lines of enemies at one time. When you defeat all the enemies on the stage is finished. And you get results screen, and then the experience bonus based on clear time, life remaining, max hit combo, and how many enemies you defeated. So during story mode, sometimes you'll get these little cutscenes, which will kind of explain the story of the game. And while I won't voice them over, I'll make sure to give ample time to read them in case you're interested. Alright, now we have the intermission. During intermissions, you can prepare for battles and save the game progress. Press the cancel button to exit an intermission and proceed to the next stage. So we'll go through all the menus one by one. So we have the status menu, where you see your level, health, strength, magic, physical defense, and magic defense. Pretty self-explanatory. You have your skills menu. Here you can equip skills that Freesia has obtained. Please note, special skills and optional skills must be equipped to be used. Obtain skills by selecting Use Mana from the menu. So right now we have no skills, so we can't obviously equip anything. This menu is used to obtain skills. Obtain skills by using mana collected from defeated enemies. The number of skills available increases as your level increases. There are 3 types of skills: basic, special, and optional. Basic skills are fundamental combat techniques. Special skills must be learned and equipped to use them in battle. They are very powerful, but use up mana. Optional skills automatically activate when equipped. Some increase your abilities, while others have other effects. Go to the skills menu to equip skills. So these are your basic skills. You only have one, which is Gust Lance. Left or right and attack performs a high-speed moving attack. This is pretty much our dash attack. These skills you don't even notice when you're using them. You just use them. They don't require any mana at all. Then you have your special skills. I'll go ahead and get this one, Crescent Spike, just to kind of show you. Physical, close range, land, mid-air. It will tell you what kind of skill it is, whether it's magical, close range, long range, land, mid-air, or in the air, depending on where you can use it. And then it gives you a short description of the skill. Then you have optional skills, and these will be all of your boost skills. So you have HP, and then there's strength, defense, magical defense. These are kind of like your passive skills. You put points into them, and then they just kind of sit there, and you use them. So we'll equip Crescent Spike, and our optional skill, HP Boost. Actually, let's see. Okay, so right now we have 107 HP. We equip HP Boost. Now we have 107 plus 32, so we effectively have 139 HP. And then, so we have System, where you have Save, Health, Controller Settings, which you can change your bindings and hotkeys and all that. Then you have Awards, which you can unlock by doing certain things. They have no effect on the game, you just get them. And then return to title screen. So we'll go ahead and save. And then you have training, which you can hone your skills against low-level enemies. Well, we'll go into it and I'll show you. So this is training mode. You get 2 enemies, and you can train your skills. Not a huge deal, but I can show you Crescent Spike. So I press left, and my special skill button as soon as my game unfreezes. Come on. There we go. And then you can see underneath my health bar, the green-yellow bar, It uses a little bit of our mana, which slowly regenerates over time. And then there are also optional skills you can get to make it recharge faster. So we just press start, return to the intermission screen, and then we can press cancel, and end intermission, and we'll go on to day 2. So the first 5 days are pretty much the same, they're all fairly easy. Just to give you time to get used to the controls, and how to string combos together, and use your new skills that you learned by leveling up. So I finished day 2. And then after the end of every day, you go back to the intermission screen. Except I think in some of the later levels you just go 2 or 3 days at a time without an intermission, but it's not a huge deal. But every time you level up, you have the chance of unlocking a new skill. So now we have the skill Strength Boost, so I'll put 2 points into that. And through this playthrough, I think the only skills I'll be using are my HP and Strength Boost, but I'll still go through and explain all the other skills that we unlock, just in case if you want to play a little bit different. So we'll go back into the skills menu, equip Strength Boost, and now you can see we get an extra 6 strength, so now we're up to, like, 43. And we end intermission, go on to day 3. Oh, so the enemy attacks in this game can sometimes be unforgiving in that most of the time there is no kind of if you've played any kind of fighting games and you're familiar with that terminology, there are no kind of invincibility frames in attacks, meaning that if you get attacked, you can immediately get attacked again by either the same or another enemy. And I've had a couple of instances where I have gone from full life to nothing and died because I got caught between enemies and I couldn't get out and I died. It's definitely not a fun thing to have happen, so just kind of watch your positioning so it doesn't happen. Especially if you did not save the last time you went to the intermission screen. Speaking of, we will go ahead, we will use our mana. We've unlocked another basic skill. So it's up and attack while in mid-air. You manifest ether wings and slice your enemies. I made the mistake of not buying any of the or the basic skills when I went through the game the first time, and I felt kind of dumb because I thought they were just like the special skills where you had to input commands to use them. And yeah. But I really don't like a lot of the special commands, only because I really don't think a lot of them are that great. But we've unlocked 2. So we have Reverse Spin and Quill. There we go. So Quill's a magical, long-range, no motion, so it pretty much fires a projectile directly ahead of you. There are a couple different upgrades of this skill, which you also unlock, but it gets slightly more powerful and more powerful until you unlock the last skill called Peacock, which I use a ridiculous amount in the end to help me defeat all the last bosses. We've also unlocked a new optional magic boost, which increases the power of your magical attacks like Quill. But again, I really don't use it that much. I usually only use HP and Strength. But if you want to play differently, please feel free to play however you want. You know. So now we've gotten to a new type of game, or not game, but mission really. This is a vortex. Vortexes are the source of the Force life energy, and your HP will slowly increase when you're near one. Vortexes will lose power if they're damaged by enemies, and the game will end if all the vortexes in a stage are destroyed. Protect the vortex from enemy attacks. So now you can see in about the left center of the screen, underneath the combo bar, there is another life bar. That is the vortex's life. If that life gets depleted, you will lose and have to start the day over. For the most part, they're not too difficult, but they can be if a whole bunch of enemies gang up on the vortex. Like they are right now. You see every attack takes away a little bit of HP, and the vortex really can only take about 10 or 12 hits before you lose. So you always want to make sure to keep on it, because the enemies will, there's no pause between attacking, and they'll just continue to attack it fairly rapidly, so you really have to kind of pay attention. But this one's not that long. Yeah, we've already finished it. Now you can see down below our stats. We have next stage. The next one will be the first boss battle on day 5. So we'll go ahead, spend the mana that we've earned. Put another point into Strength Boost, save, and then we'll go into the boss battle. In this boss battle on day 5, we have the Hulking Golem. This enemy will get smaller and will turn into I don't want to say like a mini boss, but he'll become a more common enemy as the game progresses. But right now he's just the boss. The only thing you really have to worry about is that attack, pretty much the laser. He'll fire from one screen to the other, and it will do considerable damage if you are not blocking. And if you are blocking, you have a pretty good chance to, do a guard to break your guard, and then you take extra damage for any of the remaining hits of the attack. So if you see it coming, try your best to get to the other side of the screen and jump over him. Or kind of glitch it and see if you can't, well, not glitch really, but kind of like jump and only take like 3 or 4 hits compared to the full attack damage. But you can see that I'm constantly breaking guard, just because I'm trying to guard against all these attacks. Yeah, the laser attack is kind of unforgiving. But there we go, we beat it. Nice little ending animation. I wanted to say cutscene animation. Just put them together, make a new word. And then we get another cutscene after we beat that stage. There we go. So now we have this new kind of soldier-looking guy named Listine. And he's kind of investigating the hulking golem we just defeated. And we have his friend, Shiny, who I will tell you is the third boss and is, in my opinion, the hardest boss in this entire game, hands down. And will probably take me, well, we'll keep count of how many times it takes me to try and beat her. So they're out here to pretty much find this stone, and we'll learn where it is in a little bit, and what will happen when that stone does or does not get taken away. But it's pretty much the essential thing in the plot for the most part. So we go back to the big sentient life tree of the forest. So now we're in direct conflict with each other because the stone that they want is in the tree that Freesia is protecting in the forest. And now we have the King Vaskar. have the scientist who makes, I forget what they're called, but he made the big hulking golem that we just defeated. Alright, so now we will call it quits here. It's been day 1 through 5 in the first boss battle. Next time, we will start days 6 through 10 and the second boss battle, and we will pick up exactly where we have left off. Hope you guys all take it easy, and I will see you next time.